great, guys. So, once again, welcome to the new episode of English to English. In this episode, we are going to dive deeper into a very, very sensitive topic that why your ideas disappear when people look at you. Okay, this is a very, very critical and sensitive topic that majority of the people experience this, that whenever they are speaking and people are staring at them while they speak, their mind is not focused. Okay, of course, this is the topic of the day. And why are we even hosting this podcast is because there are two intentions. Intention number one is that this will help you to develop your listening habit, and secondly, this podcast will help you to dig deeper and dive into the root of the problem. Okay, and understand that why is this happening, and then probably that will help you to come out of that issue, that challenge, and your life might get simplified because of this. Okay, so thank you so much for joining this podcast once again. Let's begin. So now imagine this, that you are sitting in a meeting and the discussion is already going on. Okay, people are talking about an idea. Okay, there is a thought which is going on in the meeting. Somebody ask a question in general, and suddenly there is a brilliant idea which comes to your mind. You think about it, you say, wow, this is a brilliant idea and I would like to answer this question. Then you start searching for the vocabulary, you start searching for sentence, you start searching for the grammar pattern. And while you're doing this, you find out good sentence also. But the moment this is happening, your manager immediately looks at you and your manager asks you, okay, so Mr. X, what do you think about this? Or what is your opinion about this question? The moment your manager asks you, what happens? The same idea which was going on in your mind, the same answer which was going on in your mind suddenly disappears. Has it ever happened with you? And if it has happened with you, you are not alone, by the way. Let me tell you, you're not alone. There are so many people in the corporate world, they face this challenge. They have brilliant ideas, but whenever they are in the limelight, whenever they are under focus, okay, their ideas disappear. This is a very big challenge. And here is an interesting part that I would like to also tell you at the same time, that 5 seconds earlier, before your manager asked you that question, you had ideas in your mind. Your thought process was still going on. But the moment your manager asked you, your thought process vanished. Why did this happen? This happened not because you are not intelligent, not because you don't have experience also. Okay, of course you are intelligent, you have experience. It also didn't happen because your English suddenly disappeared. Okay, no, your English is also still there, by the way. And the point is also still going on in the meeting. People are still discussing about the same topic. But what really happened over here is something critically changed. That change is your attention, by the way. Before your manager asked you that question, your attention was on the topic. But now, because your manager asked you, your attention has shifted on yourself. And your brain quietly asks you some questions like, how do I look? Yeah. How do I look like? What if I make mistakes? What if I fumble? What if I say something which is irrelevant? All that is happening inside your brain. Okay. At times, some people also might think that if my English is not good, how will I sound like? Okay. That also people keep thinking. And this happens while they are speaking in the meeting. Now, notice something, that the meeting is still going on. People are still talking about the same question. Okay. Which is the point of discussion. And your thought process is somewhere else. Your thought process has already left the core idea of the discussion. Your focus is not on the topic, but it is on yourself. There is a term for this in the psychology, basically. So they call it self focus. Self focus, okay. The moment your attention shifts from the topic on yourself, everything changes. Your brain starts thinking in a very different manner. Earlier, it was thinking about the idea, it was thinking about the solution, but now it is thinking about you. Okay. And it is also thinking about your behavior, your looks, your grammar, your everything. So when there was only one thought process going on, comparatively now there are multiple thought processes going on in your brain, and it is a kind of a heavy load on your brain. Heavy load, because you have to process all of that. Because your brain is engaged into processing so much of a data at the same time, your brain is not able to respond immediately. It actually goes into a protection mode, that is called as a protection mode. Okay. And that is why organizing thoughts becomes very, very difficult. Okay. Otherwise, if you're outside the meeting, you'll be able to speak easily. I know that. Okay. If the meeting gets over, you will come out of the meeting, you will easily speak. But when, while in the meeting, okay, the same thought, speaking out comfortably, confidently, naturally with other people, sharing with other people becomes very difficult. Okay. So I would like to give you an example on this, that so that you will understand. Okay. See, this is a very simple act of walking. Okay. And we all have been walking, by the way, and you also have been walking for many years now. Suppose you're walking in the garden. Okay. And you're walking, you're enjoying the process, you're enjoying the nature, but suddenly you realize, or maybe someone tells you, okay, that while you're walking, people are observing you. Okay. There's a group which is observing you, they're looking at you. The moment you realize that people are looking at you while you're walking, the walking itself becomes absurd. Okay. It becomes weird. When you're walking, people are looking at you. Now your focus is on how I'm walking. Am I walking normally? Am I walking in this style? You see, lot of information is now getting processed. 5 seconds earlier, that same walking was fun. 5 seconds later, after you realize that people are staring at you, the same walking process becomes very, very challenging now. You see, English also works in a very similar fashion. Now, the interesting thing is that this challenge, is experienced by majority of the corporate employees, majority of the business individuals. Okay, people who are into small business, medium business, or whoever is leading the team. Okay, rather, this is experienced by those people, and my observation tells me this. Okay, that the brilliant ideas are trapped in the brains of the brilliant people. You are brilliant. Okay. And majority of the people are brilliant. I would not comment on that, but brilliance is a different thing. But the ideas, those are there in your brain, are trapped inside the brain, because those ideas are not coming out from the mouth. Unfortunately, no meeting rewards the ideas that are trapped in the brain. All the ideas, those are spoken in the meeting, are only rewarded. That's the fact. And now, in order to resolve this challenge, okay, English plays a very, very important role. You see, while you're in the meeting, you are under focus, everyone is staring at you. Imagine this. You have practiced English so well that now you don't look at it as if it's a language. It becomes your thought process. The way you speak Marathi, the same way your brain looks at that English as a thought, not as a language, not as a study. If you practice more, your brain will also take it very lightly, because sentences will come very naturally. Vocabulary, you'll be able to recall that very easily. Sentence framing, uh, thought process about the entire topic also will become very natural, very normal. Then the load on your brain will reduce. You don't have to recall everything, because the moment you are thinking, your sentences are ready by the way. And when the sentences are ready, you can easily communicate those ideas with the people around you. Right now, what is happening is your struggle is with the basics, with the grammar, with the vocabulary, with the sentence framing, with your behavior, with your appearance, and all of these things are creating a lot of load. But I am saying, okay, all of this can be reduced significantly if you practice the language in the correct way, if you understand the basics, if you work on the drills, if you start facing audiences, if you start developing your thought process, okay, and then if you communicate over a period of time, what will happen is that your brain will actually offload all the processing because it has become the natural part of your brain now. Okay, the vocabulary, the sentence framing, and all of those things becomes a natural part of your brain. So your brain doesn't protect you, by the way. It says, okay, this is a easy part, let me focus on more on the topic. So your focus shifts on the topic rather than processing and yourself, and that is what exactly is expected. So instead of focusing on yourself, you need to be able to develop a habit which can help you to focus on the core of the topic, which is there inside the meeting. And if you can do that, then you have won the race. Okay, so here is a solution. Okay, so what you can do is, whenever you are about to participate in the next meeting, okay, do not rush to answer the question. Pause for a while, take a deep breath, think about it, and stay on the topic rather than thinking about yourself. Imagine that you are not there in the meeting, but the topic is still there. Think about the topic and stay focused and try to say something. It might not be a perfect sentence, but try to say something, because when you speak something, that will help you to build the next one, right? That is going to create another pattern in your brain, which will help you to be able to face more such meetings in the future, right? Got it? So guys, this is your task. Okay, whenever you are about to face any meeting from here onwards, try to develop the habit of thinking and stay focused on the topic rather than focusing on yourself. Okay, I hope guys this podcast must have helped you to develop your listening skill, as well as must have helped you to be able to understand the answer, okay, the root cause of why your ideas disappear when everybody looks at you in the meetings. Okay, so thank you so much for listening. This is Praveen and signing off until I meet you in the next podcast. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.